Hello, this tutorial is an APA citation overview to show you how to do in-text citations and references. It was created by librarians from the Stratford University Learning Resources Center. There are many different places you might find citations. You'll find them in books and in periodicals or on websites that you find on the internet. If you use a book, notice that you have to include a number of things within your citations, including authors, titles, year of publication, publishers, and the location of the publisher. Periodicals, magazines, and journals include the author and the title of the article, but as well as the title of the periodical and volume and issue numbers. With websites, there's slightly different information to include. I'll touch on each of these as we go through the tutorial. So there's a few things that you need to remember when you're compiling your references. Always format your references first. Your in-text citation will be easier to make if you have your references already done. If you reformat your reference, you'll have to reformat your in-text citation. You can't have an in-text citation in your paper unless you also have a reference at the end of your paper. The same goes for the reverse. If you have a reference at the end of your paper, you need to have a citation in text. There are a couple of things that don't need references at the end. Check the LRC APA Style Guide for more information. So a reference is a full citation that will let people find the actual articles and books that you used in your paper. They are on their own page at the end, they're in alphabetical order, and they use a hanging indent. Let's take a look. This slide shows you what a references page looks like. You can see that the running head is at the top. It is titled References, and it's in alphabetical order, and there's the hanging indent. When citing authors, keep in mind that there are different rules for one author, 3 to 7 authors, and more than 7 authors. The Stratford APA Guide can help you format your authors. Here's an example of a book citation. When you're using a book, remember that you need to include the edition, the place of publication, and the publisher, as well as any authors and the year. You can see the title of the work is also in italics. So here's an example of a scholarly article. When you're looking at a magazine article or a scholarly journal article, you need to pay attention to a number of things. First, note that there are 2 titles, an article title and a journal title. You will have a year, but you'll also have a volume number, an issue number, and page numbers. Let's look at the citation for this particular article. You can see that I've highlighted all of the different pieces that you need to identify for this articles. There are 3 authors, and I've put last name, first initial, middle initial, and a comma. I've also put the title of the article. You can see that the first word is capitalized and the first word after the colon is capitalized. I've put the article title with all the words capitalized and in italics, the volume and the issue and the page numbers, and the DOI or the URL of the place you got it from. Most articles will have all of these different parts, but if you have a magazine article or a newspaper article, the citation can vary. Again, check the Stratford University APA Guide. Here we have a website that's published by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. You can see we have a URL at the top, a title, and we have a little bit more information. Let's take a look at a citation for this guy. Remember that when you're formatting a citation for a website, you need to pay attention to what type of website you're using and the quality of the website. A .gov, a .edu, and a .org websites are usually better than .com websites. Always check with your professor if you think you have a problem. With this citation, we put in Center for Disease Control, the year, the title of the website, and our retrieval station. It's a bit easier than when you're using a scholarly journal article. Now that we've looked at references, let's take a look at how to do an in-text citation. Remember, you want to do your reference first and then your in-text citation. Although when you're doing a quote in your paper, pay attention and make sure that you're citing the thing that you are quoting. You can see that in-text citations are used in the body of your paper. They're short, and they're made up of the author, the year, and if you're using a direct quote, they'll also include the page number or paragraph number. Just like with references, you need to be aware that there are different rules for in-text citations when you have multiple authors, 3 or 5 authors, or more than 5 authors. Again, check the Stratford APA guide. Here's an example of an APA reference citation from a journal article. Below you can see a few different examples of how to do an in-text citation. These will vary based on how you paraphrase or quote the article that you're using. You can see the first citation has the author's names and the year all within parentheses. The second one has the author's names outside of the parentheses and the year within, as they're citing the authors within the paragraph. Notice that if you're using information from this source a second or third time, you'll need to use et al. Because there are more than 2 authors. Here's another example of a journal article citation. You can see there's only 2 authors within the citation. Again, we've given 2 examples, one with the author and the year, and one with the author and the year outside of quotes. Here we revisit our Centers for Disease Control website to look at the in-text citation for this article. You can see that for the first one, we've put Centers for Disease Control, CDC, in brackets, and then 2019. And subsequent uses, we just put CDC. Shortening it and letting us know with the brackets allows you to have a more abbreviated in-text citation. In-text citations for pictures and figures and graphs vary. Again, please check the APA Citation Guide or contact your librarian for more information. Thank you.